stream. Get to see some live art being done, as always, 3 times a week. Usually Tuesday through Thursday or Wednesday through Friday. This is a Wednesday through Friday week. And it's your pal Victor here. And we're going to have some fun, as usual. When don't we have fun? I mean, is there a possibility of that not happening? I don't know. We'll find out. But as always, working on some commissions. Just have a few left over here, so we're gonna kind of see what we can work through today. And yeah, let's see. Right now, I'm bringing this down a little bit here, a little bit here. Hey, Bobby B, what's up, man? We're gonna do a cereal box add-on. You know, these are always fun. Um, Ryan, hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? And yeah, I was gonna go live yesterday, but it was like already like 4 before I'd done any posts, kind of hyping it up. So I was like, I'll just wait till tomorrow. Sometimes here's a good advice, folks. It's always better to postpone things if you're not super into it. Um, just do it the next day. I'm doing good. Yeah, just took a shower. I live in the desert, so it's kind of warm here. It's always better to take a breather from something if you're not feeling it. Do it the next day when you're a little bit more in the mood to do it. Because I think people can tell when you're not feeling something. So always, make it the most fun for everybody. That's what I like to say. Sort of these little cereal marshmallows popping off of Adam in the cereal box look more like antidepressants. Or pills. Let's say pills. But yeah, I haven't drawn this guy in a minute. I did him as a return card, and somebody hit me up, be like, "Hey, I'd like a commission of Adam eating cereal from the box." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not a problem." I'm trying to clear my calendar. Just I meant to do it like the last few days, but I've been just busy with other stuff. So I just thought I'd get this one done on camera. I have because after this one I have like 2 other I think personal commissions. So my goal is to get them like all done today. And we'll see how that goes, because I really want to start working on some other stuff on the stream. But I might do a commission day at the end of the week. We'll just do like, what do you want to get drawn? Hit me up. But it's just one of those things when you're busy. Sometimes it's hard to find the time to get to these commissions, and you just kind of want to get through them. I have like 4. Yeah, like five commissions I got to finish up. That may seem like a lot, but you guys can see how like I can power through them when I find the time. Yep. But hey, I like working on stuff. This is like the first time I've had a chance to draw this week so far. That just tells you how like it's one of those weeks. But how are you guys doing? I'm interested in your days. Me. I'm always here at the drawing board and listening to the Japanese trap music. Oh, I lowered the volume because the one I was listening to last Thursday, I think it was, I had it a little loud, and apparently the person was using a lot of copyrighted music, so I had to like mute 5 minutes off of last week's stream, which I don't like doing. I don't like muting. But say lovey. At least if you're listening live, you don't have the mute effect. But it's difficult when that happens. Eventually, I want to get to like, some of these I'd like to do a time lapse on as like a bonus thing. Just have not gone around to it yet. All right. Adam and his giant hand over here. All right. And then we'll do a little milk explosion right there. Milk explosion, as it were. I had like a Subway sandwich for lunch. I'm questioning my life choices right now. Just kidding. Um, I like submarine sandwiches a lot. I'm just picky. And then some days you just want like a Subway one, and I'm like, I got a spicy Italian. Feel like I should have gone in a meatball one instead. But that's my failure as a human being. All right. Looks like today's going to be kind of a quiet stream. Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes they're going to be quiet. All right, and there's Adam. Get his other arm in the frame. He's really into this cereal. Fun fact, I'm actually not really into cereal. I didn't grow up eating it, so I don't really have like a taste for it, I think is the problem. So the idea of like, so you get this dry stuff and you pour milk on it and that's a meal seems weird to me. Did not grow up eating it, so I just don't have a taste for cereal. Isn't that shocking? I grew up eating oatmeal, which I like no longer like. So sometimes I joke with my girlfriend I've got the weirdest palate ever. When I was a little kid, my favorite meal was liver and onions. My favorite breakfast was oatmeal. Talk about a messed up palate. I could say I don't like liver and onions now. I just haven't had it in like, 30 years or whatever. But seriously, once upon a time, that was like my favorite meal. Shocking, no? It's so good before bed. Do you mean cereal, liver and onions, or oatmeal? I'm guessing you mean cereal. Yeah, yesterday I had like Doritos before I went to bed. It's like I wanted to eat something crunchy. Probably cereal would have been a healthier alternative. All right, and there's our guy, who I think is actually cuter than the actual cereal box art. I'm good at doing cute faces, I think. All right. I am a strong believer in. Oh, hey, what's up, Haunted Handbox, man? I am a strong believer in eating breakfast meals for dinner, though, because I can't ever get up early enough to eat breakfast at like the appropriate time. Need you to do a mean one for me, like a mean garbage pail kid. I'm always up for doing mean kids. Yeah, whenever we go to Cracker Barrel sometimes for dinner, and I always get breakfast for dinner. Although I have to say, I think I don't know if you guys have ever been to Cracker Barrel. It's like this really, like, I guess, what would you call it? Like a homey country-ish restaurant. Like they serve like old-timey foods and breakfast. And they used to have like an awesome menu. And I swear to God, dude, like the last few years I've tried to update it, and like every change they've made has been terrible. You used to be able to order a lemonade and they bring it to you in a frosty mug that they put in the in the freezer. Like that was like my favorite thing to ever get there, and like they stopped doing it. And it like it's one of the biggest, like, why would you stop doing that? That was so good. Cuz I really like lemonade, you know? Yes, Mad Donna is what I've chosen. Would be cool if she was biting the heads off. Like, I'm excited for the card coming in the mail. I hope this. Do you know when it's supposed to arrive? I haven't mailed it off yet. I have like a big stack of cards I'm mailing off just because I've just been busy. So like, big stack of cards waiting to be mailed off. So you'll know I mailed it because I'll message you with a picture of the envelope with the sticker on it. It's probably gonna be. You'll probably get a text from me later tonight. I went to the post office to buy more envelopes because I was running out. So that was my earlier chores today. Sorry. Fun fact: English not my first language, so sometimes I do the Ricky Ricardo thing and pronounce words weird. Chores. He's part of my chores today. It always happens on weird words too. It's like you would never know. Like, why did you say it that way? Because my tongue was not built to say that word correctly. Shorts. Part of my shorts today. Have you seen my shorts? My shorts? Yeah, my dad is Cuban, so I do a Ricky Ricardo impression fairly often. All right. I like outlining the blue with the darker blue. I always like that look. Yeah, that's coming out good. You have some splaining to do, Lucy. And if you guys haven't done it, you probably have, but remember to subscribe to my channel. You know, the closer we get to, we're probably going to do another giveaway at 2,250 followers. So the closer we start getting to that, the sooner we'll do another giveaway. So you guys could help me out by spreading the word about the channel a bit. I think we're going to hit 22,150 followers probably today or tomorrow. So that's good. I mean, it'll be 50 since the last giveaway. So we're doing pretty good on growing. I just want to help keep the channel growing so we can do more fun stuff. I've got a bunch of videos planned for next week too, so keep your eyes out for that. GPK-ish videos in nature as well. I like how the yellow on that tie came out. That's a good tie, man. Yeah, it'll will your ex bride make it onto the channel? Maybe. Did I do the Hatbox Ghost on the channel? I think so. Yeah, the channel drawings are always fun. I think everyone enjoys those. All right, that looks good. Like I go maybe when it's obvious it will. Maybe. All right, that looks good. All right. Get a little bit more of that loop on here. Splash zone, whatever. I'm not sure what to call it. Milk explosion. All right, now let's do some flesh tone. Flesh tone. All right. Yeah, I don't know what convinced me to go to Subway for lunch today. It just seems like very out of character for me. It's like if I ever go to like Chipotle, you just know I've probably been replaced by like like a body snatching plant monster. There's never a reason to go to Chipotle. Just fly. Don't let loved ones go to Chipotle. No lie here. I literally had a friend who had to settle an issue with Chipotle legal because their salad had it. They got like a taco salad or something from Chipotle, and it had a rock in it, like a straight up rock. I got Chipotle. I got a rock. Has Chipotle done a Jared, like Subway Jared? I like how I said Chipotle. Has Garbage Pail Kids I'm pretty sure they haven't. They wouldn't now because, jail. And, the one thing I will say is years ago, I was really into like losing weight and I went to the gym like every day. And pretty much all I ate was Subway sandwiches, and I actually lost a lot of weight. So that, if it was pretty healthy at one point to eat at Subway. Of course, their food used to be much better. The thing that always makes me laugh is when you go to Subway, they always ask you, "Oh, do you want your sandwich toasted, no matter what kind of sandwich it is?" I'm like, "Yeah, please take my cold, mainly lettuce sandwich and nuke it in your oven. I'm sure that'll be delicious." I'm like, let's just say it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be a. I'd say that's mean, honestly. They have to do their job. So I'm sure no matter what, they always have to ask because somewhere someone is going to want a salad on bread nuked. One time I was at Benihana, and I don't know if you guys know what Benihana is. It's like a teppanyaki restaurant where everybody sits around a table and they cook the table on like the hot, griddle in front of you, right? And it's fun because, it's like a walk. The table's a giant walk. But these people sitting at the end of the table from us, the lady didn't want any Chinese food, and she straight up wanted the guy to what was it? Well done her steak, and she didn't want any noodles or rice, and she asked if they had like ketchup. And it's like, why are you even here? You want a well done steak and you want ketchup with it? How? Why? I don't understand. It's like even a dog doesn't deserve well done steak. Don't you want any juice? That's the whole point of eating steak. I like how most of my conversation this stream has been about food I don't like. Tell us, Victor, what other foods do you hate? Probably why I should be more, make sure I eat at least an hour before I do a stream, so it's not the last thing I was thinking about. Yeah, exactly. Like, why would you go to a restaurant? Like, you could buy a steak and burn it at home. You know, it would cost you like, what, $8 at a restaurant. You go, a steak is gonna cost you what, at least $15 or $16, and you ask for it well done. They're just gonna burn it. Maybe this is just a weird thing for me. I don't know. I'm just like, it didn't make any sense. Bet you she won't eat chorizo. Yeah, I doubt it. I had somebody one time. I was at like a breakfast place, and the lady like ordered sausage, and they asked if she wanted chorizo, and she said she didn't eat pork. Like, think about that for a second. Do you want? Oh, I want sausage. Do you want chorizo? No, I don't eat pork. Think about it. I'm not here to blame people for making bad food choices. I'm just saying, like, you have to understand that sausage and chorizo are both pork, right? Like, maybe she heard somebody say like beef sausage once or something. Just the scintillating stuff you hear on Victor's art stream. Maybe it was asking for a tofu chorizo. Maybe. It doesn't. But then she would still think the chorizo was made of pork. I will say I've been to like a vegan restaurant, and they have this stuff called uh, soy rizo, where it's made out of soy, and because of all the spices, you can't tell it's pork. But like, it's, yeah, weird stuff, man. This is the stuff that haunts my dreams. People not knowing that bacon and sausage are made of pork. It's like, what world do we live in, people? A world where people don't know what things are made out of. Did you know cereal is made of goat? No, just kidding. Lamb? No. Cereal is made from oats, which are also in beer. So you should have beer for breakfast. Just kidding. I don't know enough about microbrewing. All I know it's beer is hops and malts and barley. Hey, oh Victor, I would love a leaky Lindsay sketch from you. How do I proceed? You rock. Just message me on Facebook. Carnitas, baby. Yeah. I love tacos, but I'm a carne asada guy. It's like, yeah, carnitas are good, but I just like how a carne asada tastes better. Hey, Victor and everybody, is that Avo? Avo. Yeah, I'm easy to find on Facebook. I'm telling you. getting ready to watch AEW. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was like, I didn't know who Ava was. Now I know. Yeah, I'm getting ready to watch AEW in an hour. Oh, cool, man. I think I saw like a video he did with Mr. Kimball. Here we go. In case you're tuning in, today it's cereal drawing. There's Mr. Kimball. Mr. Kimball did a video I saw yesterday about the sketch card I did for him. You should check that out. It's a really good video. I enjoyed it. All right, time to do a garbage explosion plume. So things you missed if you just tuned into the video. Me mispronouncing the word shorts, which I called shorts. And then I did a Ricky Ricardo impression. You know, because I'm Cuban in nationality in parts. And then I've been bitching about food for like the last 15 minutes. It's been a very scintillating episode. It's just I can't do it, dude. Like, who goes to order a steak well done? I don't understand that. You kidding me, man? I'm telling you, I talk like that every day. Have you guys ever been to a what is it called? Churrascaria. It's like a Brazilian steakhouse. So like you go and it's like a buffet, but then like there's like the waiters come to your table and they have like a different kind of meat on a stick, like sausage or fillet or whatever, and they just cut a piece off and you keep eating it. Like, yeah, it's too much food. But what I'm saying is, how long would you stay there if every piece they gave you was like well done? You would leave like in 10 minutes. I'm like, everything here tastes like burnt rubber. That's all I'm saying. It's one of those things I just don't understand. But yeah, that's such is the everyday ponderings of my brain. All right. So there, that looks pretty good. That's how an explosion's supposed to look. The Life of Brian and Friends says, hey. So Victor, you were on horror movie panels ran a little cinema theater. After no video, I had to look your other channels. Yeah, actually, that's like the main thing I do is before COVID shut everything down, I would rent out movie theaters. Hounded has the world's largest GPK hit collection. He wakes up with new cards. Oh, that's awesome. So I used to rent out movie theaters every month and show like one of my favorite movies or something like that. And now I do like posters and T-shirts and stuff, and I would sell that at the screening, and that's how I made my living. You know, usually I do it a few times a month. Also, good news, I got my hands on a green food fight 10. I got one of the celebrity chefs on it. All seems that way. Thanks, James. But yeah, and that was how I made my living. You know, did that for, this year it'll be 10 years, you know. Be nice if the theater I do this stuff at, like, would reopen before the year ended so I could possibly do some in the fall, you know. But yeah, that's the main thing I do. And then like the leftover posters and shirts and stuff I would sell at like horror and comic book conventions and promote my events there. What do you see as all the stuff with no hits? what you I used to take the Mylars from Victor. Okay, I will respond to the request in message once the thing is over. I used to take Mylars. Yeah, I wish I had a thing to display Mylars in my house. The theater I do stuff at has little marquees in front of every one of the auditoriums. So like, if you look at my Facebook, you'll see like my crew. We usually take pictures in front of the marquees. All right, and now I will color that button red. Boom. All right, now need some pink cereal here. I don't know why I colored it like whatever he wants. All right, boom and boom and boom and boom and boom. Must be hard coming up with Atom Bomb in different poses since he's requested so much. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I've drawn Atom Bomb, I think, in every single pose he has at this point. You know, because I can't just do the simple pose anymore. I mean, I will. I'm not a dick about it, but, like, it's got to be interesting for me, you know? Ask for 300, Victor. LOL. You know me. I'm fair as fair can be. I know. I noticed. Is the GPK cereal been good? Where do you find some at FYE? I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not. I'm just assuming it's not good. I just like, well, I don't, like I said earlier, I don't eat cereal, but I can't imagine it tasting good. I know the boxes were like almost $10 when they came out. Oh, it is? Well, see, I didn't know that. Does it taste like marshmallows? Half a bag. What? Do you eat it with milk or just like candy? I ask seriously. I don't know if you guys missed out earlier. I talked about how I don't eat cereal because I never grew up eating it. So like I don't like how it tastes. If anyone needs a cereal at 10 minutes FYA and they have a lot of it was other GPK items. Oh. I think there's an FYE. Oh, my girlfriend would probably like it then. She really likes Lucky Charms marshmallows. Whenever we go to the store, we always buy a ton of cereal. Not always. I'm exaggerating. You know, we buy like 3 boxes, you know, every couple of weeks or something because she likes to mix it up. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't want any. I'm not a cereal guy. Oh, yeah, I remember there being GPK hot sauce. I can't imagine that being good either. I'm like really picky when it comes to hot sauce. Hey, Victor, what's your opinion on graded GPK? That's the way people collect now, apparently. That's largely what's driving the hobby is people buying old cases so they can try to find like, you know, a near 10 like Atom Bomb or a Nasty Nick or something. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about speculating in the hobby, but in general, I feel like speculation is driving too much of our interest right now. They closed all the FYEs in LA. Did you know FYE used to be the warehouse? Yeah, they used to be the warehouse and Sam Goody's Music Land and Suncoast Motion Picture Company and Sam Goody. All of those are the same company. And out of all those, the only one that's left is FYE. The Warehouse was my favorite one. And then Suncoast Motion Picture Company comes in at second. All right, where was I? Oh, right, the eyeball. Eyeball. You're an eyeball. You're an eyeball. Who is this sketch for? It's for a guy named Junior Moody. Yeah, the Warehouse was the best, man. I think the Warehouse I went to as a kid is a Japanese supermarket now. Do you live sketch all of your commissions? Most of them. Like if I can get them done within like half an hour or 45 minutes, I do. If it's something more involved, I do it off camera cuz then I feel like I'm shortchanging the person, you know? Cuz some stuff is like I don't know if you guys have seen my returns and stuff, my retail stuff. I feel like that sometimes is more detailed because sometimes I want to really go into detail and I feel like I can't do it on the stream. Although I think I've gotten better. Especially since I started doing I got a new rig set up here, so now I have a lot more room, or is that the word? No, like like I have room to maneuver versus like when I would do Facebook streaming, it's all like square and the phone was like right in my face, and I feel like it's like, God, I got to get this done so I can get this thing out of my face. But I think now they look really good. Like the more comfortable I am doing it, the more likely I am to do it. When you lived in California, in what area? I used to live in the South Bay. The South Bay. This sketch looks great, Vic. Oh, thanks, man. There, that looks good. Get a little bit more over here. All right, now we do this. And this, and this, and this, and this. Not to mention that, and that, and that, and this. I can picture you drawing Atom Bomb Happy Cereal for someone that requested it, and you're all happy and smiling when you get your home. And like, I really need to stop drawing cereal-themed cards. That's funny. I don't mind drawing the cereal-themed cards. At least it's, it's a different pose for them, The upside is I'm glad people like my style because I cannot slavishly copy, like, this is like Joe Simcoe drew this card originally, and like I don't want to copy how he does it exactly, It's enough that I'm doing the same pose. Eventually I'm just gonna do my takes. I mean, this is still kind of like my take on it. Oh no, I get ya. One of the things I get from my girlfriend is I'm like way overly serious. Like, so if you ask me something, I'm gonna give you a serious answer sometimes. Yeah, I just don't like want to copy other people's styles when I do things, Like, I feel like I have my own take on how to do things, but I still want to make it kind of look like what they want it to look like. By the way, Mud Marcus kid. Yeah, that one came out really good, I thought. Thank you. Love the sketches, man. Hope to pull one of these days. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I feel like the last set I was heavily represented, so maybe it'll happen again with whatever the next themed whatever the name of the next set is that I'm working on. Which I'm sure they'll do a sell sheet for or whatever any day now. All right, let's do the ear here. Do you still work for Tops on these? Yes, I still work for Tops on these. I am working on the new set right now. Well, I mean, like, not right now, literally. Like, they sent me cards, and at some point in the next couple months, I'll actually draw them. But yeah, the only thing I do for Tops now is Garbage Pail Kids. I don't do Star Wars or anything else. I can't comment on what the theme is. Yeah, I can't comment on what the theme is. Let's just put it like that. I can neither confirm nor deny the theme. Let's say that. Is that better? Yes, the thing that we cannot speak of. All right. What was he doing now? Oh yeah, the red, rojo. You don't have to say anything, Victor. I'll be the voice in your head. Yeah. Just let it be said that certain people have made it known to me to not speak what cannot be spoken of. Yes, to Mr. Kimball. Just as long as that's going to be the voice in Kimball's head. No, I'll probably do a video this week, or there's probably a video coming at some point, let's say that better, from this channel showing my takes on what these cards look like. All right. I like the red. There we go. Yeah, I think the funniest thing was I still had people messaging me yesterday, or not yesterday, a few days ago. They'd be like, they saw the post I did on the groups a couple weeks back. It was like, oh, do you have cards left? I'll do two for 150, not one for 150. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I ran out of cards a while ago. Oh, seriously? All right, I'll do 200. I'm not haggling. You guys know what the price is. The thing I do like is, I put my price on my price on the graphic of what I sell for, and everybody else kind of raises their prices accordingly, which is good because I think we should all be getting as much for our commissions as possible. I remember like 3 or 4 sets back I was working on, and there was like some kid was selling his returns for like $50 or something. I was like, dude, Tops is already hosing you. Don't put yourself in the same spot. I always think it's worth it to charge, an appropriate amount for returns, because the collector is going to spend so much money trying to get a hit. You're just offering, the actual card they want, that you two can work on together, and you're saving the collector money on a box. You guys don't get paid enough by Tops. Yeah. Well, I think I think the problem is when these companies find out, It's like, oh, what's this? You're making money on your commissions. My gosh, well, that's part of your payment. We should pay you less. You probably don't know, by why is Topps doing an online code thing. I've yet to enter my codes to get my online cards from Wax. The reason Topps is doing online cards is because there's this whole thing tied into the blockchain called NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. And it's a whole different way of collecting things. And if it really takes off, then Topps can do all digital sets and save a lot of money on printing. Collectors will still buy the digital cards, so they still make the money. And then there's an aftermarket, which they can also get their hands on, because I'm starting to think that, Topps could just mint more Wax cards whenever they want, and create more of a market. Possibly, physical, but, in the long run, they save money and make more. And if everything is going online, it'll happen one day. I mean, it's kind of like the same, I will think, I do think yeah, you said it, not me, but we all know. I tell people all the time, the stock I draw my cards on is better than most of the stock I've gotten from trading card companies. Wouldn't that be nice? Everything's going to be like physical media one day. And Topps, yeah. Well, also, I think the bigger thing is what happens one day when Topps makes it, and this will happen, I guarantee you right now. They'll make a deal with a different blockchain provider. Like, what'll happen to all the cards that are on Wax, because I know the WWE NFTs are a different blockchain thing than the ones Topps are on. Yeah, that's what's got me. I'm like, if they switch blockchain providers, that's going to be a big ol' mess. My cards felt like packaging cardboard. Will cause confusion and won't collect will be separated. Well, that's the thing, dude. I remember when I was a kid, you know, like trading cards were like thick, because kids would like, get baseball cards and put them in like the spokes of their bike so it would make like a noise, because they were so thick, and they'd be like, and they wouldn't get jacked up. But if I get like something like this, right? Like, look how thin that is. All right, and I'll do this in comparison, right? All right, look how thin that is, right? See, this is thicker. And don't think these cost me like a ton of money to make, That's just my 2 cents. I mean, like, or even like the cards I get when I buy an action figure. I don't even know if I have any here. But like, I buy McFarlane toys and they come with like trading cards, and they're like way thicker than most Topps cards I have. Anyway, I mean, we're talking like doomsday scenario. I don't think physical cards are going anywhere for a long time. But like, eventually they're going to be like the digital only releases for maybe whole subsets. Or at least maybe there'll be wax versions first or blockchain versions first. I don't know. I don't work there in that office, so I don't know what's going on. I was surprised that they got on board. I'm surprised. I'll say this: I'm surprised so many companies are getting on board NFTs so quickly. There we go. Because like, man, that's usually it takes a while for people to adopt stuff, and this time it's like, nope, not so much. That came out pretty good, I think. The serial one, if you will. Like I considered doing some NFT stuff. It is brains. The brains of dead garbage pail kid children. No, I'm just kidding. It's just looks like brains on the art too. Shading getting better, Victor. Yeah. I mean, I've done better shading. I need to buy some more colors. Some of my go-tos are a little dried out. I don't get any excitement pulling a virtual sketch versus getting one in hand. I know. One of these days I'll actually pull a sketch. I don't never pull sketches. The best I do is borders. You know. Yeah, there is a GPK movie. I have it on Blu-ray. Um, it's there are virtual sketches. Shockingly enough. Yeah, whatchamacallit, they got GPK Nick to do a bunch of them. A bunch of virtual sketches for the last thing. It's the Atom Appetite, I think. That it's like a graphic of a sketch. You know, which is there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just give you guys. Well, somebody sketched it and then they scanned it in. Such is life, guys. We can't control what other companies do. C'est la vie. All right, give me a second here. Cannot lame alert. I mean, like, GPK Nick is smart. Like, he clearly got in with tops really quick. Which is something I haven't really tried to do. So props to him. I'm good at getting in trouble with tops. He's good at, like, hey guys, pay me as much as possible. I rock. I'm like, all right, cool, man. More power to you. It's not like will they watch these streams or do they? I don't trust either one of their judgments. They might watch this stream. I don't know. I don't think they have time to. I like his style, but I don't think it's for the masses. I mean, I like that at least they're pushing for different styles because You know, it's like how Lil Isaac has his style, like that kind of like Hunter S. Thompson-y Gonzo vibe to it, and how who else, like Pat Chimung, he has that watercolor style. You know, I wish they would mix it up in the base cards like that too, like they did for Beyond the Streets, and let us kind of do our own versions of things. Cause I would like mix my style up a bit more, cause I'm still trying to kind of keep it GPK a little bit. But I think we all do it different. I mean, you know, I think like if I could completely 100% do stuff my style, um, what are your thoughts on bootleg GPK items? Clearly, I'm for them because I bootleg stuff all the time. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I mean, I think here's my thought on like bootleg items, like that OS 16 set. I think is bullshit. Like I'm not down with that as terms of something people should do, because like then anybody could bootleg anything. I do think that if you do work on the sets, you should get some leeway, like in terms of like items you do, you know. Um, if that makes sense. You know, I'm gonna do like, say if I'm gonna do like, you know, my own prints or like my own trading cards or whatever. I mean, mind you, like, you know, I prefer to do stuff on my Occulto brand. Sometimes I just, you know, I have some of these, so I'm just using them, you know, to because I have them and they printed them wrong. So it's like people like the real kid stuff. But you know, by and large, like, you know, I think if you're a GPK artist and you're drawing stuff in that style, then I think it's totally cool, and I think that way you're supporting the artist. But I think if you're like just, you know, a graphic designer and you're you know, just making fake stuff and you can't actually draw or design, and you then I have an issue with that, you know. I feel like that's apple, like, you know, it's apples and apples, but like I feel like there's like I'm in the support the artist camp, you know. You know, like artists do most of the work and we get like kind of like the shaft, except for like I feel like there's like three or four golden children. I think it kind of sucks that they don't like yeah, you know, cuz like here, you know, I feel like you know, I don't feel like there should only be like four artists who get to do base cards. And then those same artists also get to do sketch cards. It's like double dipping or triple dipping, because then it's like, hi, I'm a base artist. Here, I'm selling my roughs. I'm selling my color roughs. I'm selling the finished paintings. I'm selling my sketch card commissions. And here's the roughs for my sketch cards commission. So they make money five different ways, right? And then sketch card artists like me get like whatever they get from doing sketch cards and then commissions, you know? So I feel like we have to hustle way harder. And then sometimes the way I look at it, it's kind of like let me put this back on the thing so I can talk. Um, it's kind of like yes or no, one of the main artists is a douche. I cannot comment or deny that assertion. I can. Anyway, was that little scene from Fight Club when they're asking that guy questions? It's like, can neither confirm nor deny. Anyway, what was I saying? Shit, I lost my train of thought. I'm the Dennis Rodman of GPK. I'm like, I keep shaking the boat. Anyway, lay out right, like anybody's gonna like watch up to this point of the video anyway. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So what was I saying? Where was I? Fuck, I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah. No. Here's what I'm saying. Uh, yeah, here's how I'll put it, right? You know how there's wrestlers who work for the WWE, right? And they were like great on the indie scene. And then they go to work for WWE and their moveset gets slashed and they can only do like 3 or 4 moves and they're not getting pushed, right? But you're like, dude, these guys are like so good. Why? And it's like, well, they're happy to work for, the home team, right? Or WWE. I think that's how most GPK artists are. It's like, oh, well, we all like, get to work on GPK, so we're just happy to be here. So, it's not like you go in thinking you're gonna like make a grip of money, like fright rags money or any of that stuff. You're going because you're like you're going because you want to work on the brand, and then it helps you develop an audience, and whatever. So that's kind of the way to look at it. It's like it opens doors. Yeah, it is. And yeah, I canceled my network subscription. I was a day one subscriber. When they switched to Peacock, I just like, nah, I think I'm done, man. And that's kind of how it is. It's just like, I like working in Garbage Pail Kids. That's all I do. They tried to get me to work on all these other brands, and I'm like, I'm not really interested. Is Topps changing the logo to GPK now on Roppers as well? I don't think so. I think they trademarked GPK, so they have that 3-letter logo, just so people can't do GPK. I like the 3-letter logo, to be honest. I think it's cool, because it's still kind of like the old. If the cards actually said GPK on them, like GPK, I think that would be dope. Much better than like the banner. I like it better than the letters with the bubbly around them. Just like GPK with the little arch, I think looks way cooler. That's a props to Topps right there. You know. Anyway, because I don't want, like I said, I'm not hating on it. I know what I don't, and I think most artists know what they're getting into when they work for Topps. Ladder matches were some of the best. Attitude Eras get internet killed wrestling, to be honest. Well, here's what I think, honestly, and this is like because I hate Jim Cornette with a passion, and people are always like, "Oh, Jim Cornette hates AEW." It's Outlaw Mud Show. It's like I enjoy AEW because it's like New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's all factions, so even though they have a ton of guys, the factions are always there. So it's like you see everybody on the roster, and not everybody has a storyline, but like, okay, they're part of a faction, so we're doing, yeah, I know. And then it's like, if we didn't, we wouldn't collect it. And you always want things to get better. But at the same time, I think I would probably get farther. I'd probably be closer to grabbing the Topps brass ring if I didn't open my mouth so much. But at the same time, you know, uh, it's one of those things where like, is it really my goal to be like a base card artist for Tops? And I'm like, well, I don't know, like necessarily if that's the case. I mean, I'll put it like this way, guys. Like I can paint with acrylics. Like I went to art school. So it's like I could totally get in doing that. I know how to, airbrush backgrounds, but it's like, why would I do that on sketch cards? It's like, I don't, because I know there's a lot of artists who are like, oh, you guys, I'm going to like hand paint every single one of my sketch cards for this set. And I'm like, why? You're making it that much harder for yourself. It's going to get all jacked up when Topps packages stuff. Save that for doing some good returns to show off your work and do some really good base cards. I'm surprised Topps hasn't reached out to people who make videos of their cards. Um, I don't know if they have or not. It's just one of those things where like it might start to happen, but I think they're really understaffed too. Like there's only like like three, like a handful of people who actually work at Tops, and like, or art directors or whatever. I think like you should put at least one special card in the top set, Victor. Well, I think all my cards look really awesome. If you that I mean that's not like, I'm not trying to like be like but I feel like most of my cards I try to deal out all my like retail cards to look like returns. I mean, if you watch that video, I do my videos of all the cards I do for every set, and I would think any one of them looks like a return card because I do them all in color. They're all kind of like this, which I think is a really nice card, And I think a lot of people. I mean, I had friends who are artists. They're like, oh, like I'm only gonna do this in black and white, or I'm gonna do like 50% effort on the retail cards. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I don't think, you know, maybe there's a different way to put it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm doing cards half-ass for retail sets, because that's not the case at all. What I'm saying is, if you're like hand painting all your cards, it's like, why are you doing that? It doesn't make it any better than somebody who like painted their cards with markers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but then again, it might just be your style or something that like makes it unique or something. Yeah, I think you should do that, Bobby. I think that would be really cool. But I think you get what I'm saying though, right? Like you should do your cards in your own style, not try to like just like I'm like you're doing it like it's a final card or something, because it's just a lot of effort for additional effort. Here's what I'm saying: if you're only getting paid $1.50 to do a card, right, and you're gonna spend 2 to 3 hours on that card, I feel like you're shortchanging yourself. You should do stuff in your style, make it look really nice, rather than like, like, you guys, I killed myself to do this. Ever thought of doing a 3-part sketch insert? First card is the pencil sketch. Second has, um, God, it's who did something like that? Was it? I think it was like either Chris Meeks or Jason Crosby did something like that, where like they did the same card like 3 times, but they did it like a plate. Like this was like the pink layer, this was the blue layer, this was the yellow layer. And I remember thinking, oh, that's really, really clever. And like, I ended up happening is none of them ever came up. Like he was like, did anybody find these? Manny says, "You're the goat. Amazing work." Oh, thanks for the super sticker, man. Um, the thing I have thought of doing is doing different borders. Like, do the same character, but like, this one has a green border, this one's a red border, this one has a snot border for like certain ones. Like, I've thought of doing something like that. Have you got into trouble with Tops? What was the latest slap on the hand? Yes, I have gone into troubles. I've gone into troubles with Tops before. I've done a few things to get in trouble with them. One was I was selling, I was doing, commissions like these on eBay, where I would like, oh, $50 commission, and I had a bunch of blank cards as the graphic, and one of them was one of my garbage reel kids, and as a blank card. And they tried to tell me I was selling bootleg Garbage Pail Kids, and if I didn't kill the auction, they would kick me off the artist. So I had to kill my auctions for that. It was my bad for putting one of those in the background anyway. So, because just made it a blank card with pictures of cards I'd already done. Um, so yeah, that. A couple years ago, I got into trouble with them because before I worked for them, I had did these big 11 by 17 horror characters as Garbage Pail Kids, and they slapped me with a copyright thing and killed my auctions on eBay. And I'd never even put them on eBay before, except I had bought some from me at a convention and was set at for $200 a pop, and was getting that money like really easy. Like I'd seen his complete auctions, and every single one he bought from me he sold for $200. So I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, that was years ago though. Apparently, yeah. What was the other thing? Oh, Pete, we cannot talk about themes. So it's like someone talked about the theme. I'm like, gee, I wonder who that was. So yeah, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of the Dennis Rodman over here. I'm like, it's like sit on the bench. So yeah, I try not to get into trouble. It just happens, you know. But I think I'm also the only person who goes like who goes on live like 3 times a week. So I'm gonna talk. I mean, because it's interesting stuff. You know, all I can hope is you guys respect that I'm like talking to you off the cuff and not be like, psst, yeah, yeah. I can't confirm or deny what you're talking about there. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I was even supposed to talk about the shorting issue. Although, how am I supposed to talk about it if I not talk about it if we got shorted? Just saying. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Who have I seen do live streams besides me? Floyd Man does live streams sometimes, but I think he does them different than me. He just like kind of like talks about like his rat thing stuff and the zombie cards and stuff like that. And then what else? I think Toothless does streams sometimes. Um, Mad respect for you, my friend. You're real. That's what his fans love. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Um, but Toothless is always pimping something, which I respect. He's got good hustle. You know, And then yeah, other than that, I don't think anybody else really does do like live streams. That do you guys know other people who do live streams? Because I'm always interested in checking stuff out. You know, I'm just saying, I like checking that stuff out. God, I can't really think of anything. I don't know. I was really hoping we'd have not garbage, gross card con again this year, because I really wanted to do like some like live stream jams, like like, oh, here I put together a puzzle, I drew this part, and and then we'd like pass it around, and at the end see what the thing would look like. Because there's a lot of artists that I do get along with really well. Like David Acevedo is a really good dude. Um, Floyd's a really good dude. Who else? Michael Bernard. He's another guy who has really good hustle. If Son of Monster Palooza happens, I'll be there. Have you ever painted on a jacket or shoes? No, I have not. I've considered doing the shoes because that doesn't seem as difficult, although I don't really know how to like do a jacket, but it feels like doing a shoes wouldn't be too hard. Probably won't be the same till next year though. Most everything is changing. It's sad. I'm like pretty sure I'm going to do Mad Monster Party in Phoenix in July. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he's a super good artist. So I'll probably be doing that convention just because a lot of my friends are gonna be there, and I live here, so it's like, I mean, I'm gonna be masked up. I'm not like, oh hey, there's no pandemic, but you know, I want to hang out with my friends, and if I'm gonna be there anyway, I might as well get a table. So I'll probably do that July 4th weekend. Um, how many people show up to these GPK cons? I'd say a good amount of the hardcore fans come to the GPK comes to the Gross Card Con. Like I would say at least a couple hundred or a couple hundred people, and they're usually like the hardcore people, maybe more. It's hard to say because I've done the last couple, but the last year's was like the weekend that COVID was shutting everything down, so it would have been bigger. And then Leaky Lindsay. I know. I don't think I've drawn Leaky Lindsay before. Maybe once. And then the ones before that were really packed. But I wasn't in the same area as like all the GPK artists the year before. So I would say it's much more than that. But it's like yeah, pick your poison. But yeah, like I there and it's like hardcore people who like usually are there to get a lot of stuff, and it's usually like the people from all of the groups. Like I think like I remember for sure Ghoulie Julie was there, and like a lot of the regulars you see in these groups. I remember Brandon Snyder was there. He didn't have a booth though, so he was like crashing at Toothless's table. A lot of artists go to show up even if they don't have tables. So it's a fun time. Oh yeah, I am out of like actual official stock. As I keep drinking my water. Not really a group guy. I just love GPK. Yeah. Oh, I'd say it's like just a good thing to go to if you're really into GPK. And the people who organize it do a good job. Like they have breakfast with the artists and dinner with the artists, like all these things you can do to kind of like get to know people better. And if you're a guest, like you kind of like have to go to these things. But it's cool. I mean, like they take care of you, and I liked it. So if it happened again, and Clint Coleman, the guy who organizes it, is really good. Victor, I don't think you were at Gross Card Con in Vegas in 2018. It was cool. It was part of Toy Con. Actually, I was there, but I was just there. I didn't have a table set up. I just went to go. So me and David Acevedo went not together. We ran into each other there, and it was in a really tiny room, but it was like super packed. And I was there for like an hour, and then I left. I mainly like talked to like Michael Bernard and I think Jeff Zapata, and yeah, well, that and then I remember like Chendu's was like was knocking stuff out like I knock stuff out on here on the stream. But he was doing like this little dot pattern in the backgrounds that I thought was pretty cool. Um but yeah, I was there for like a minute. 2019 was the first time I had a table. So 2019 and 2020, I had a table. 2019, like I had a table, but I wasn't in that main area. I was in the row over, so I was in the same row as David and Sean Cruz, and yeah, so that was fun. And then and last year 2020, I was a guest in part of everything. Keep pulling. And I just have this feeling he's a douche. You might well be. Lily and Jeff are brother and sister. No, they're not. Seriously? Are you for real? No way. No way. Let's see. I don't think you were gross card. I'm just checking. Oh yeah, let me show you the a cool toe. Yeah, see that's the a cool toe. That's so crazy. I did not know that. I just thought she was like a fan artist who just became an artist. I didn't know that she was related to Jeff. Trippy. Small world after all. Oculto is the name of my business because my events are called Cult Classics. So the parent company for them is Oculto LLC. So that's kind of like the branding I do, and I like the logo. It looks kind of cool. Look at me, I'm airbrushing GPK. Oh, maybe she's just calling him like a brother. Dan and Jasmine, that house pumps out art. Am I right? Yeah, I think that's cool actually, because my girlfriend does really good art too. So it's cool when we're like in our workshop and we're both like jamming on both of our artwork. Because she does like really cool like sculptures and painting and stuff, and I work on my cards. So it's kind of fun when you can do that with somebody. It's kind of hard to find too, so props to them. you know Although, like, I would hate to have glitter around all the time. Somebody actually asked me once to do the glitter thing, and I was like, that's not my gimmick. That's like the thing that Jasmine does, the glitter, because like I don't want glitter everywhere. Victor, if you talk to Michael Bernard, please tell him I was in your stream. Nudge him to work on my project. I know he's been really busy. He's a busy dude. That's what I thought, Victor. So I don't know if they're related. I asked honestly because my brother did. I haven't even been on Facebook. I forget I have an Instagram sometimes as well. It's hard to like live in the modern social world because there's like so many outlets: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I really I started doing the streams on Facebook, but man, I am not I much prefer doing them on YouTube. And like a lot of it is cuz I like doing videos, and like sometimes I do fun ones like the location videos, or when I review toys and stuff, because that's some of my favorite stuff to do. But I also just kind of like just this because it's like more free form. I'm just talking, and that in and itself is just fun. But at the same time, it's good to have lots of stuff. it's good to have like this is the line I'm drawing. I mean, I think they keep messing up Facebook anyway. Evening, I bought an airbrush when I was 15. I used it a few times. It kept getting blocked, so I moved to Pilot pens instead. I'm just don't. Yeah, I think we're all having fun, So don't. I wouldn't trip about it, because realistically, if we can't, I don't ever want to be part of a hobby where I'm like, shh, no, you cannot talk about he who shall not be named, and it's like, dude, it's just a hobby. Nobody cares, you know. It's like that's the whole thing. You got to have fun with shit. And like, I give props to like all the artists who are able to hustle and do cool shit. Kimmel for flow ideas, communicate something more private, also something more expedient would be better, right? I know it's like, yeah, your last streams have been very smooth recently, so there's no need to send details. I thought it's approved for. Oh, okay. I'm just making sure I read all the messages as they come through, so I'm not like I'm like, what are you talking about, huh? You know, honestly, sometimes I worry like the production value on my streams is too low, like to keep people interested, you know. I'm like, he's just like, it's just a ring light and he's drawing. Who does he think he's fooling? Lag. I was born in the lag, molded by it. I didn't see a T1 line until I was a man. Thanks, DK. I work on improving all the time. I want them to be fun and entertaining. Nobody cared about me until I worked on an official blank. Ah, shit. There we go. No, I get you. I figured it out from context. Yeah, see, I have people like my laugh. It's like it's very infectious. Yeah, I got personality going for me. That's my superpower. Yeah, that's what I was saying at the start of the stream yesterday. I wasn't in a good mood, so I kind of pushed it to today. See you at the party, Victor. Get down. Yeah, I was like, if you're not in a good mood, it's better to wait to do something till you're in a good mood. Melina, people are trying to kill me. Yeah, so Lily and Jeff are related. Weird. Okay. It's not like a brother from another mother thing. I got. Welcome to Johnny Cab. Thanks for taking a trip. The one we always joke is I don't know if you guys watch the Food Network, but there's this chef called Pioneer Woman. Her name is Ree something or other. Like she's got red hair. And the joke I always make is she looks like the mask that Arnold Schwarzenegger wears in that movie. So it's like she puts stuff in the oven. I go, and this will be done in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So now we can't even watch Pioneer Woman without like, yeah, it's such a good movie. If this is what makes me mad. If there's one figure I would like pay cash money for, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger with that mask. Like if NECA made that figure with like a removable head, I'd be like, I would pay $50 for that action figure. I'm not even kidding. There was who looked like 2 weeks. Open your mind, Quaid. I'm put the cookie down. So we me and my girlfriend went to Astoria like a year ago or a year like before the pandemic started in 2019, and it's where they filmed Goonies, but it's also where they filmed Kindergarten Cop. So we found a bunch of the Goonies locations, but I don't. But we didn't get a chance. We only were there for a few hours. We didn't get a chance to go to the school from Kindergarten Cop. So, like, I have videos to do a Goonies location video, but not for Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, I like Kindergarten Cop a lot. I don't know. That's the other thing I was trying to figure out. So, like, I don't know. You may love the commission I want. Oh, I probably would. Um, so you guys have seen those location videos I do. So I'm editing a couple right now. So right now I'm trying to decide what the next one I post will be. So I have one from Back to the Future, one from Drop Dead Fred, and I think one from Jingle All the Way. So if you had a choice of seeing one of those three first, which one would you rather watch first? Because they're all going to take as long to finish editing. I'm just like trying to plan them out. Jingle All the Way. Okay. Yeah, because we went to Minnesota, so I like did I did I the locations I went to were I went to the little dining car where he meets Sinbad, and I also went to the mall where he gets the ball, the little ball to try to get the Turbo Man doll. No, this is a commission for some one of these kids. It's supposed to be the bride from the Haunted Mansion. So there's not an actual GPK of her, so I'm just kind of doing my own take on it. Everybody everywhere will know Clint Eastwood was the biggest yellow belly in the West. Yeah, the locations I went to from Back to the Future were Doc Brown's house in 1955, and the garage where he has the scale where they keep the DeLorean in, where Doc builds the scale model of the town, and then the DeLorean little scale DeLorean gets set on fire, and Lorraine asks Marty to the dance. So those were the two locations I went to for that one. So yeah, I actually have tons of them. I'm just like tons of these videos to like post. I'm just like trying to decide which one should be the next one. So maybe I'll do the Back to the Future one, and then I'll do Drop Dead Fred next week, and then I'll do Jingle All the Way. Yeah, I really struggle with do you know? Oh, do you guys want to know something funny? Because we almost did this when we went to Minnesota. So when we went to Minnesota, one of the other things I like to do is I like to visit graveyards where like famous people are buried. So, the last time we went there, I visited a few, and I think I posted like where Mr. Perfect the wrestler was buried. But here's something really trippy. So, you guys know Phil Hartman was murdered, right? Of course you do. So, when Phil Hartman like died, originally he wanted his ashes like spread out over the Pacific Ocean, right? But it was like, kind of hard to do that, with because he had a couple kids and everything. All right, so check this out. His wife is actually from Minnesota. So since, he died and his wife died, their kids ended up going to live with her sister and husband. They raised them in Minnesota. So the two kids moved to Minnesota to live with the aunt and uncle and the grandparents and stuff. So, because of that, they never, spread Phil Hartman's ashes or whatever. So what ended up happening is Phil Hartman's ashes are actually, or Phil Hartman's remains, they're buried in Minnesota. He's actually buried in the same plot as his wife, the lady who killed him in Minnesota. You can go and visit their combined grave together. How messed up is that? It's right. Right-handed hotbags gets it. Like, damn, that fucking sucks. I mean, upside, we were thinking of going, but it's actually like really far north in Minnesota. Like, I think it's like a 3 to 4 hour drive from like Minneapolis. I mean, I get it. Like, like, hey, like we're gonna buy a plot. Let's just bury them, I guess. But it's just, yeah. Look, if you go to if you Google it, Google Phil Hartman's grave, and yeah, he's Hartman, Phil, and then his wife, one grave. It's like, oof. He didn't even want to be buried. He wanted his ashes spread over the ocean. Yeah. I've been in Nicolas Cage's grave in New Orleans too, the Big Pyramid. It's really cool. That's a cool graveyard. You can't go there by yourself. You have to pay a tour guide that's been approved by like the Catholic Archdiocese to get a tour to go inside there. So anytime you go there, there's always going to be a tour of people going through that graveyard because Nicolas Cage's future. I know it's trippy, right? That's messed up. Um, yeah, Nicolas Cage's future graveyard is there, or grave is there. Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen of New Orleans, is buried there. It is a crazy story. That's why I shared it. When I found out, I was like, "Oh man, that sucks." Because we wanted to go, but it's just like really, it's almost as far north in. I can't go to grave sites. I feel bad walking over people. There's a way you're supposed to do it. Like you just don't step on the headstones. When I was a little kid, I used to be afraid of that too. Like I was gonna sink in and bodies were gonna grab me or whatever. I just think it's cool. Like I've just tried to destigmatize myself to dying as I got older because I always had a big fear of death. So one of my big things is to try to get over that. The guy who invented craps is actually buried in the same graveyard as Nicolas Cage is going to be buried one day in New Orleans. I just think that I thought was crazy. I'm like, wow, because that's like the one gambling game I really like to play is craps, and it's like it's weird that there's the actual guy who created the game craps is buried here, you know. There's also a really funny story they'll tell you if you take a tour. There's this guy who is like the governor of I think of Louisiana or the mayor of New Orleans. I forget which one, but his wife died and he had her buried in that graveyard, right? And she has like this really like thoughtful, nice like epitaph, and then he gets remarried. And then that wife died, and she has the exact same epitaph on her grave. They're like buried right next to each other. And then he got married again, and then then it happened again. Yeah, when we went to New Orleans, I went to all the locations from Interview with a Vampire. So that's another video I have to do. I've actually been to all the locations from Interview with the Vampire, because I went to all the locations that were in New Orleans, and then when I was in San Francisco, I went to the port and I went to the apartment where the interviewer interviews Brad Pitt. It's right by Union Station in San Francisco. So I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, that look at that. We found all of them without even trying. We went to the plantation. We went to the house where Claudia gets turned into a vampire. We went to Bourbon Street. I think the problem with Tom Cruise is that he plays the same character in every single movie he's in. Like he's I mean, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. Let me say that because like Jimmy Stewart played Jimmy Stewart in every movie he was ever in. Tom Hanks plays Tom Hanks in every single movie he's ever in. You know, there's some people just have like a style, and it's like okay. But I think the thing with Tom Cruise is he's it's just sometimes it's hard to take him seriously. Al Pacino does now. Al Pacino used to be a really good actor. If you watch like The Godfather or Serpico or A Dog Day Afternoon, he used to be a really good actor. And then, you go from like, when he plays like you watch him in Godfather Part 1 where he's like, "Okay, I never want to get into the same business as my father. He's a bad man." And then it's like, at some point in the 70s or 80s, his voice blew out and he like lost like his ability to emote uh carefully, you know. So if you see like even Heat or like Scent of a Woman or The Devil's Advocate, he gets into or Scarface. Scarface is a good example. I think it was around Scarface that he blew his voice out. And he goes from like, never ask me about my father's business. And then it's like, it's like, just when I thought I was out, they dragged me back in. And then, hoo son, we need to start the apocalypse. You know, exactly. He just like lost all ability to be subtle. And it's just, I explain this to people all the time. This is how I do a lot of talking about movies. It's just like, it's my whole thing. It's like a year or two ago, Glenn Danzig did an album of Elvis covers. Like the whole album is him doing Elvis covers. And I'm like, I wish you had done that album in like 1992 because you can't do it now. Like he used to be like have a very like Elvis kind of range to his voice, but he blew his voice out. So you love movies. You must know the Lucio Fulci zombie quartet. Oh, like House by the Cemetery, City of the Living Dead, Zombie and the Beyond. Yeah. I have like actual posters for Zombie and the Beyond in my office, like right now, like full size ones. Like I met the composer for all those movies, Fabio Frizzi, like in 2016. He's a really cool guy. The guy who did all the art for his posters died just this past weekend. His name was Enzo Schiotti. Yeah. Oh, cool. I like Ian McCulloch. But yeah, I have the Beyond Composers Cut poster. And I went to Beyond Fest in LA and I got Fabio Frizzi and literally every member of his band to sign it. I had to wait an hour and a half, and the one thing I learned is Italians love smoking. Like literally, it was like chain smoking. Unfortunately, I know Richard Johnson lived in Chelsea while me and the family were living in London. I would have walked around. Oh, Richard, where are you? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's funny too. Like over here in Arizona, there's a lot of people, like famous people that have lived here, and I've missed a few of them. Uh, I missed a few of them when I would have liked to have gotten stuff autographed. Arlie Ermy used to live like not that far from where I live, and I only learned that about a year before he died. I was trying to get him to come to a movie I was hosting, but it never happened. The same thing happened with Roddy Piper. I was trying to get him to come to a screening of They Live. I was planning on doing, and I talked to him at a con, and he seemed like he was up for it, but he died like I don't know, like I think 6 months later. So that sucked. I still ended up doing a screening of They Live, but I got Meg Foster to do an intro for it instead, and that one ended up being a really cool show. I've met a bunch of famous people. Was Rock the only one I ever got excited about? That's cool. Yeah, that is sad. Yeah. Well, sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to or not. Like I showed A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and I flew out Jennifer Rubin. She's the girl that Freddy kills with the gloves that have the needles on them that are full of heroin or whatever drug that's supposed to be. And that was a really cool screening. She was super nice. She's a super cool lady. She still like texts me every now and then just to see what how we're doing. Yeah. That's my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie, actually. I don't know. And if you've seen my YouTube page, if you look at the banner, like there's a picture of me and my girlfriend with the guy who played Lo Pan in Big Trouble in Little China, and there's a picture of me and her with Elvira, who's also super fucking cool. Elvira is like one of the best people I've ever met. Like she did a commercial for my movie events, and she didn't even charge me for it because she like just she's like, I just like to support people doing this kind of stuff, so I don't want to, you don't have to pay me anything. I was like, dude, that's, thank you so much. Seriously, one of the coolest people ever. Yeah, the guy who plays Lopan, James Hong, is super nice. I'm actually, yeah, I wanted to get him out for a screening of Big Trouble in Little China, but it's really hard now because Disney owns that, and it's like, by the time things get normal, he is really old. He's like 91. He's like 91 years old. He's as old as my grandpa is. So, and he's still doing events. So more power to him. It's like you kind of think, oh, he's not that old, and I'm like, no, dude. Big Trouble in Little China came out like freaking what, like 96, 06, 16, like almost 40 years ago, and it's not like he was a young guy in that movie. I know, it's one of my favorite movies. um in 1985 he was 40, he's now 76. I know, right? I know. I was at a screening of Big Trouble in Little China in 2016 in LA, and I went just because Kurt Russell was there, and while we were sitting in our seats, he there was like a hallway that led up to the that led up to the stage because he was doing a Q&A afterwards, and he was standing there for most of the movie. And James Gunn, the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, he was standing there, and they were just like watching the movie and laughing. And he did his talk, and he's like, I haven't watched that whole movie since like 1986, and it's still fucking funny. No, I got your joke. I was just like talking, Mr. Kimball. I love seeing people. I never drive faster than I can see. That's funny. That's another one of those lines that you got to think about when you hear it. The thing, this thing is to act dumb. He does. The thing is to be, he does. The thing is to look stupid. He does. Yeah, they haven't remade that movie yet. They're going to. It's like, they're gonna remake everything. I know the chat's like blowing up tonight. It's like, what? Yeah, when I met Lopan, we did that photo op with him. I met John Carpenter a few times too. If you go, he did a couple concert tours, and I went to both of them where he played all the songs from his movies because he composed all the scores for them. So that was super cool, and I did the Q&A and photo op. That was totally worth it. What's funny is a couple years ago, Kurt Russell, like he owns a vineyard, and he did an appearance. He did an appearance out here promoting his wine, and I wanted to go. This was like in 2018, but the tickets were like super expensive. They were like $500 a person. Hey, what's up, Adam? Adam went to this, but yeah, it's one of the biggest regrets of my life that I didn't. One of the biggest regrets I have that I didn't go to this thing, because I've always wanted to meet Kurt Russell, and maybe it'll happen one day, but not. It was not meant to be yet. But yeah, hey Adam was talking about how Kurt Russell was out here that one year. You got to meet him. Kurt rubbed his junk up against my arm. That's so funny. But yeah, I've been in the same room as Kurt Russell. That's as close enough as I've been to meeting him. But he seemed like a cool guy. That's all I'll say. Maybe one day. Finishing this guy up here. This is like a really long stream today. I know, that's the worst. I met Vince Vaughn once, and he was a total dick to me. So like, it's hard for me to like him in anything now. Just because like I remember when he was a fucking dick. Luke, I met Vince Vaughn because they were filming Old School when I was going to college, and one of the kids in the movie, the really fat black kid. I like grew up with him, and I ran into him. He's like, "Oh, hey, you want to meet the crew?" So he introduced me to Vince Vaughn. He introduced me to Vince Vaughn and to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson was super nice. And then Vince Vaughn was like, "Do you have any cigarettes?" And I said, "I don't smoke." And he said, "What the fuck ever?" And then he just turned around. So if I'd had cigarettes, maybe I would have been his best friend though. Oh yeah, right. Vince Vaughn is super repetitive. Like, I did like him in that movie Freaky that came out this year. That was a good movie. But yeah, he's pretty much a one note actor. You know, I met Quentin Tarantino once years ago, and actually, it's because of Quentin Tarantino that anytime I have the chance to actually talk to somebody, I take it because I was with a buddy who had sold him some movies. He's like, "Oh, we'll talk to him later. Just wait for it to calm down." And I kept waiting, waiting. He never introduced me and my other friend to him. He's like, "Oh, well, he was really busy." And I'm like, I could have just have gone up and said hi to him myself. And I'm mad that I wasted that opportunity. So yeah, now I always remember what did you say? Liked him in that wedding movie back with Owen Wilson. Oh, Wedding Crashers. Vince Vaughn should do a GPK channel, compete with Kimball and GC. That'd be funny. It wouldn't last long. I wouldn't talk to him just because of what I might remember Victor Moreno and turn my head and walk away. And they'd be like, no, no. That would be funny. Almost done with this card. I remember Dodgeball being funny, but I don't remember too much about it. I haven't watched it in a long time. We've had streams that have gone on this long, and this one just feels like it's flowing quick because the conversation has been like rapid fire, which is good. I like that. The ones that don't have as much conversation going on are sometimes harder to go through. It's like, it's just so slow today. Are any of you guys gonna watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier later? Supposedly, there's gonna be a really big cameo from a Marvel character that's being introduced into the MCU for the first time today. Literally, that's the only reason I'm actually interested in watching it today. You must be entertained by us, Victor. I'm trying. I'm trying to be entertaining. You know, I don't want, my whole thing is I don't want the chats to ever get boring. I don't know who it is, Adam. If I wouldn't talk about it if I knew. So last week's episode was really good, though. He was good in Swingers. I don't know. Pretty much happens to all comedic actors, one note roles. That's kind of true. Oh, I've met Jon Favreau. I met Jon Favreau at Monster Palooza, and he is a super nice guy too. Like, he was all into checking out my art. My girlfriend told him that she really liked him in PCU, and he was like, "You must be the only person who likes that movie." He was just like really funny. He was there with like his son. He was a really good dude. You know, this was like back in like 2016, 17 or something. I remember I told him that I didn't think he got enough credit for developing the MCU. And he was like, "Thanks, man. It's actually really nice to hear that." I mean, you could tell he was just like, ah, he's a good guy. I also met Guillermo del Toro. He's a super nice guy. Yeah, Cowboys and Aliens. I like the idea of that movie, but the execution is kind of lacking. I saw New Mutants the other day, and it's actually not terrible. I was like, I'd heard it was like awful, but it's more like, oh, well, I think it would have been a better movie if it just hadn't been part of the X-Men, movies. Yeah, that's what we did. We watched it on HBO Max. Yeah, I wouldn't say it sucked. Like I liked the actors in it, but yeah, like the main doctor chick was not good, you know, but it was all right. Like Dark Phoenix is so much worse. I hated Dark Phoenix. That was such a bad movie. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, Ileana was cool. I liked the girl from Game of Thrones. I liked the Demon Bear. You know, I didn't like the kid from Stranger Things, but I don't even like him on Stranger Things. So you know, I like that. It's like, yeah, I didn't like the kid from Stranger Things, but I don't like him on Stranger Things either. Oh yeah, right. What was he supposed to be like? You know, I'll kill my dad in the mines or whatever the fuck. It's like people from Kentucky don't talk like that. He just sounded like bumpkin as shit. Yeah, I don't think they should have brought the first class and original cast together. Cause first class was like a reboot, and then it's just like, dude, those movies, don't think about the time in them because it doesn't make any sense. You know, you realize that, like Magneto's like like in his what 40s in when first class happens, and he's like what, like that movie takes place in the early 60s. You know, by the time they get to the 80s, he should be like, you know, like 90 years old, you know? If you do the math on how old people are in that movie, it doesn't make any sense at all cuz every movie jumps forward like 10 years, you know? Mystique should be like, you know, 60 or 70 by the time Dark Phoenix happens. Same thing with Xavier, you know? If you think about it, it'll melt your brain. And I think Dark Phoenix is proves that you can't do an X-Men movie without Wolverine. It just doesn't work. Yeah, but also the other problem I had with the X-Men movies was how they kept acting like Mystique was like a really popular important character even though she isn't in the comics. She's just like kind of like just above a B level villain, and they're like making her try to seem that she's like as popular as Wolverine is, and it's like no, no. And it's like, yeah, my that's why I liked Logan because I'm like, okay, they got the two best X Men characters here, Professor X and Wolverine. They cut all the dead weight. Yeah, and I don't think, and that's the problem. Jennifer Lawrence isn't even popular anymore, right? Like when what was the last movie Jennifer Lawrence even did? You know, like Red Sparrow. It has to have been some or Passengers. Like that was like years ago. No, actually, the last movie she did was Dark Phoenix. Yeah. So for me, it's like, yeah, no, the fappening. Yeah, he should like that one. Let me just. I will say, like, Jennifer Lawrence does look pretty good naked. I was just like, I was shocked. I'd be like, huh, I was not expecting her to be that banging. I liked the Zack Snyder Justice League. Yep, there's your bride with axe. Yeah, that came out pretty good, I think. Yeah, I kind of like drawing characters that aren't already GPKs because I have more leeway. Much more leeway. You guys like that? That came out pretty good, I think. Mm-hmm. Yep, I'll send them out. I'll send them out today. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to give us a subscribe. Just mouse over the Cult Classics logo on the right corner and hit subscribe. Looks so good. Easy, Jason. It's only a sketch. I know. There's one of these days I gotta work on there's a sketch cover I gotta do with Roy Bot and Fry and Ryan destroying Japan. Should have a Godzilla versus Kong feel maybe later this week. Well, we got 2 cards done on the stream today, so that's pretty good considering how much talking I did. Do you watch the Gore Geek on YouTube? No, I don't. I'll have to check that out. I liked the fight, and I liked the Kong and the Hollow Earth, but like I'm a big gorilla fan in general. Oh, I got to show this off. So I was at Target the other day. I'm gonna do an unboxing video for this later, but I'm like super jazzed about it. This is Gorilla Grodd from The Flash. Armored gorilla. Roar. He runs through a lot of movies checking out the gore, but he respects his movies. He has fun. He talks through it, quite enjoyable. Oh, and then I was at Walgreens the other day, and then this one I gotta do too. It's shit, I'm getting a glare. It's John Wick. Yeah. Not getting a good picture, but yeah. Mr. Wick. I kept joking with my girlfriend that there should have been a part during the Godzilla versus Kong fight where, like, right when Godzilla's about to kill Kong, he should have been like, "You're letting them kill Mothra." And then, like, Godzilla goes, "How do you know that name?" And then, like, 11 runs in and says, "It's his monster's name." Yeah, well, I thought it was funny. You're letting them kill Mothra. I swear that joke's never going to get old to me. But yeah, no, it could have been better. I swear though, like, right? I swear though, I was like, how the fuck did they get Ghidorah's head in that movie? And then it's like, oh right, Tyrion's dad got the head at the end of King of the Monsters. Why the fuck wasn't he in Godzilla versus Kong? It's not like his character died off, you know? That's why I was like not expecting the skull. I'm like, huh? Where did that come from? And it's like, oh, right, he got it in the last movie. I was like, it doesn't make any sense to me. They should have had more characters come back from King of the Monsters. Apparently, the Japanese guy who was like drifting with the Ghidorah kaiju was supposed to be the son of the Japanese guy from the last couple of Godzilla movies. Yeah, I didn't like the Mecha Godzilla design either. I think they should have just made like Mecha Godzilla look like Godzilla, but robot. Oh yeah, the dad didn't do anything. The dad didn't do anything in that movie. Why the fuck was he even in it? Just so like we're supposed to know that Eleven's missing. I did like how like 11 was kind of crazy, like the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People, and Deadpool was all like, "Dude, that podcast guy is crazy," and she's like, "I'm crazy too." Yeah, I just didn't like the Mecha Godzilla design. I think Mecha Godzilla could have been the bad guy of like his own movie. Like Mecha Godzilla's supposed to be like an epic like level villain, They kind of like I feel like they went through too many bad guys in all the Godzilla movies way too quickly, So it's like, well, yeah, that's why there wasn't an end credit scene. They kind of ran out of villains. It's like, he already, yeah, I feel like that could have been the last one pretty much. It's like, because Godzilla already killed, like, what, the Muta, or the Mutos, whatever, Ghidorah, and then he already fought Rodan and Mothra, and now he fought King Kong and Mecha Godzilla, you know? Yeah, and see that's what bugs me because I like King. I don't really think Godzilla should have beat King Kong. It should have been more like an even match or something. I mean, I get it that King Kong doesn't have laser breath or anything, but he's supposed to be like smarter. Um, I get well, Ultraman's from another, I guess, Jet Jaguar, who's kind of like a ripoff of Ultraman, but then you're getting to honestly, the thing I thought was funny is the way that guy was controlling Mecha Godzilla. He was controlling it almost like the you controlled the Jaeger in Pacific Rim because he was using a psionic connection from Ghidorah's brain. So basically, so he's like drifting with the kaiju brain to control the Mecha Godzilla Jaeger. And it's like, well, fuck. I mean, I know they can do it that way because the same company owns Pacific Rim. So why don't they just use some of the Jaeger, the kaiju from Pacific Rim? The Hollow Earth opened up another dimension, and now like Godzilla has to fight like kaiju from Pacific Rim. Like I think that would be cool. Like Godzilla versus Pacific Rim or something, like a crossover movie. That's the only thing I could think of. All right. Well, I think we've gone on like really long today. So, yeah, they wasted Charlie Day in Pacific Rim 2. I'll talk about it tomorrow. Like Pacific Rim 2 is a piece of shit movie and I hate it on a lot of different levels. Um, but yeah, no, actually, I'm gonna get dinner right now, so I'm gonna cut the stream because my girlfriend just got home, and I've been on here for like almost over 2 hours. I think this is our longest stream ever. So we'll do a long stream tomorrow to make up for it. You should watch it. It's on HBO Max. Anyway, I'll talk. Anyway, I'm gonna cut the stream right now while it's still popular. I'll be back on tomorrow at 4:30. Uh, thanks for all you do. Check your Facebook. All right, I'll message you guys too. All right. Okay, cool guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. All right. Bye.